1971, you did a record with Gil Scott Heron, Pieces of Man. And according to All Music, I hope it's right or not, I don't know, you played double bass and electric bass on that.
I remember the record, but I don't remember exactly what I played because I haven't heard it in a very long time. I know I did play electric bass on most of it. I just got a call one day from Brian. He said, "Hey, Ron, this is Brian." I said, "Okay." Yeah. He's coming to New York with a singer named Gil Scott Heron, who I have a band with in Washington, D.C. And we're trying to put this record together. And are you available? Well, when is it? Well, when are you available?
Oh,
When is it? Well, when you're available. No, I mean, when is it? No, I mean, when are you available?
so they were coming just for you, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know how to take that kind of responsibility. I thought that, wow, it's on me now. And I'm talking about getting gigs. I got some gigs here. This guy wants me to be available only whenever I'm available. Wow, okay. Well, I'm available on this date. He said, okay, this is the studio. I'll book it for you, and we'll get there. Well, I got there with the band, and I was a bass player, and I met this guy with his afro, a tall, lanky guy with a real deep talking voice, and his name was Gil Scott Heron. I said, okay, I'm Ron Carter. I'm with Brian, you know. He said, okay, let's get this started. And he got into the booth, and it's all done live.
Yeah.
And when we heard the tracks, we were all just, I was, because they knew the library. I just couldn't believe that this guy was singing these words back then.
Yeah.
And people were doing lyrics like that, but much of it more of a based on a jazz solo kind of thing, like King Pleasure and Eddie Jefferson. They were interesting, John Henry. They're interesting lyrics, but nothing with the force of these hot poetry kind of words. I mean, to have a guy say that, hey man, now that TV is getting famous in our heads, the revolution will not be televised. I mean, that story, just the line of that story is enough to make whoever's listening just stop in their tracks. I said, wait a minute, man. This guy is saying some, at the time the word was deep. He's saying some deep stuff, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Revolution will not be televised, and just the whole texture of that record was based on that kind of in-your-face truth. And he left the concert again 2 years ago, and he got really busy, and we kind of parted ways because I was doing one thing and he was on this tour with his band, and I was just in the studio to have to make the record, And I regret not having more time spent with him just to hear other songs like that,
Yeah.
I mean, how many other poems does he hear that he wants to do? And it was interesting to me that he allowed the music to help carry him through these words. And I think the current bunch of hip hop guys, if they would just listen to this record and listen to how Gil trusted the live music to help him make these words that were really over the top back in the day be effective in helping him get his verbal point across. Maybe they would hire more jazz players to help their project be to another level of I hate to say musicality because I'm not implying that they were non-musical, but
different level of musicality, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I admire those guys who produce those records. That they listen to all these choices of lines to sample. Just call that guy, man, if he's alive. Let him. And ultimately, that's what the Tribe Called Quest did.
Yeah.
Mr. Q-Tip, I called him, called me on the phone, and we worked it out. And now that record turned out to be important for them and a nice thing for me to have done.
Yeah.
I missed that contact with people, players like that, because they haven't gotten comfortable, I guess, with someone helping them make those musical choices.
Yeah.
It's all them. And I'm okay with that all them process. But I've been in a lot of all them bands.
Yeah.
And bass has always been important in those groups,